folks, and welcome to Subjective Thoughts. And our comic for today is Mark Hazzard, Merc, issue 3 by Marvel. Now, there is violence, fighting, killing, shooting, explosions, and more violence in this one. So, if you are in any way squeamish, you have been warned. Also, spoilers. Alright, here's the team. Okay, so when we left off Mark in issue 2, him going to his son's baseball game ended up in disaster. He had to kill a few mercenaries that came to kill him. He at least then seemed to have talked to the police, and then he just went home. Well, and then there was that thing with his ex-wife and her new husband. The end there, with her saying goodnight, Mark, instead. Gordon, poor guy. Okay, anyway, we start this issue off with Mark in his home. There are two detectives there, a lady detective and her partner. She knows Mark from the past. And maybe they not work together. But anyway, she knows Mark. She's going over his account of the events of the men he killed and the one he incapacitated and tied up in the bathroom. So yeah, things are a bit stressed for old Mark. He needs to stay put in. Where does he live? Anyway, he needs to stay put in where he lives, not to leave anywhere while the investigation's going. Now, as he's talking to the detective lady, and of course reassembling a weapon, he gets a phone call. He goes to answer. It's someone he worked with in the past. His name is Ram. He's from the Israel. He's Israeli. He's from the maybe Mossad, I think. But anyway, he's a Jew. He's from Israel. He wants to hire Mark to do a job in Philadelphia. There's a Israel Day parade there. Some government official, Haver Knesset, is coming. So he wants Mark to be his bodyguard. Now Mark refuses. He didn't have a good time working with Ram, because he told him 3 years ago that he doesn't want to work with him again. Now at the same time, he's also kind of talking to the detective lady. She tell him, "Well, Mark, stay put. Don't give me grief. My husband, my teenage kids give me grief. So don't you give me grief as well. And my boss gives me grief, and she and the other detective or her partner, they leave. It also Mark's talking to him, but Ram convinces him to come to Philadelphia, telling him there's this guy Wolfson. Wolfson? Yeah, Wolfson. You'll get to be his boss. And Wolfson is someone that Mark knows from the Navy school. Yeah, from school. He he once tied him to a flagpole. So yeah, Wolfson doesn't like him, and it looks like Mark doesn't like him either. So just to be his boss, he agrees. And he's thinking, I'll go in real quick. The detective lady won't even notice I'm gone. So he's in Philadelphia. He meets the Haver Knesset that he's supposed to be the bodyguard of. He's not very popular in Israel, and he was like a last minute guy. The original man that was supposed to go couldn't make it in the end. So that's it. They're getting ready. Wolfson, they go outside to the car. Wolfson sees him and is, of course, very upset that Mark is his boss. But there's nothing he can do. So they're in the cars, sorry, riding, waving at people as the parade. But in some building, like quite far away, there's a terrorists that want to kidnap the Haver Knesset, Arabs. They have rocket launcher, and they're like looking to see if the car's getting closer. So that's it. They're driving. Mark's looking around. Everything seems okay. The crowd is harmless but noisy. Ram calls him on the walkie-talkie thing. Everything's good. That's it. Mark's looking around. Then he notices some shine from the sun. And he's like, "Is that against the metal?" And the terrorists see that he noticed and say, "Come on, what are you waiting for? An invitation? Shoot." And they shoot the rocket launcher. Now everyone lives. Mark and Wolfson are all right. And the Chaver Knesset, Mark tells them everything's fine. Go to sleep. Two of the terrorists arrive on a motorcycle, start shooting. Mark is shooting back at them, but another rocket's launched at them, and it knocks him out. It doesn't kill them, but knocks them out. They manage to grab the Chaver Knesset. Mark grabs the gun. He's about to try shooting at them, but then Wolfson, that idiot, he hits him and kicks the gun out of his arm, out of his hand, and tells him, "You can't shoot them, they're civilians." And he's not wrong, of course, but maybe Mark could have tried to shoot at the wheels or something. But that's it. They get away. Mark and Wolfson start a scuffle. The police separates them. And then, because Wolfson's someone in the government, I think, he tells them to arrest Mark. And Mark's like, "Oh, Wolfson, this is a bunch of baloney if you think they'll do it." Unfortunately for Mark, they do. They arrest him. And Wolfson's outside of the detention cell and tells him, "They know, Mark, and it doesn't matter what I've achieved in life. Everyone always remembers what you did to me, tied me up to that flagpole. The humiliation." And he tells them, "I'm your only way out of here. If you apologize to me, I'll release you and you can go save the Chaver Knesset." So Mark apologizes, but of course Wolfson lied, and he's like, "Fat chance," and laughs. And Mark's like, "Oh, shit." But then a policeman tells him, "Your lawyer is here for you." And it's it's Ram and another agent. They pretend to be lawyers. They hit the police officers. Then Wolfson runs in the room, but Mark punches him. And then they run out. The terrorists are holding the Chaver Knesset in some abandoned building. If the Israeli government, they don't release 200 something terrorists, they will start chopping bits of him. And Mark gets angry and he's like, "Am I just your fall guy?" And then Ram's like, "No, of course not, Mark." And Mark's like, "I knew you'd say that." And they run to like you said, "Why'd you waste time breaking me out?" That's why Mark is sure he's the fall guy, the one they would blame for this. So they run to that building. Mark is looking there and thinking, "Do I really need this? I should have already been back from Philadelphia. Yeah, I'm going to give the detective lady trouble. I'm 42. They'll find out about what I did here, and with all the jail time, by the time he is released, he'll only use a gun as a cane. So does he really need this? He's gonna lose relationships and everything else, but then his a duty to saving the man he couldn't protect, his charge wins. So a policeman is talking to the terrorists. Before that, in the jail cell, Wolfson told him that the mayor wants to handle this with kid gloves so he doesn't get shit for the previous trouble with terrorists. So the policeman's talking to them to the terrorists. He said, "Look, wait, we don't have the authority to do what you want. Just wait." And they have wrecking ball. There's a wrecking ball there. And then suddenly it starts to move. The police is like, what? And then the terrorist says, hey, watch where, watch that thing. You might hit something. And it's Mark's on the wrecking ball. And it like goes in and he jumps in there through the window. He has a protective vest on, but it doesn't help him much. He falls wrong and hurts his spine. And it's like, man, I'm getting too old for this. Oh, apparently he's 42. I was a bit off. I thought he was like in his mid 30s. But yeah, he's 42 apparently. So he falls wrong. He shoots. One guy's knocked out, one terrorist. Then he, everything's blurry, but then he regains consciousness. And he sees there's another terrorist and he's got his gun, but it won't be fast enough. But then Ram outside uses the wrecking ball again. And just in time knocks Mark out again, but also the other terrorist. And the Ram's like, oh, this is so much fun. I haven't worked one of these since I worked in the Negev. I wonder if Mark is having this much fun. Oh, Jesus, fun, my guy. The man is trying to rescue your Haver Knesset. Doesn't have time for fun. Mark runs in the building. He's been keeping the time because they said, if we don't get the answer in 5 minutes, we're going to start chopping the guy. So he runs in. He's like, got seconds, but that should be enough. He bursts into the room, tells the Haver Knesset to duck, and he starts shooting at the terrorists. His vest does protect him from the few bullets that hit him, and then that's it. He shoots them all in the legs, and the Haver Knesset's like, wow, that shows restraint, Mark. And Mark's like, nah, it's just lousy aim. You're lucky I didn't hit you. And that's it. Then outside, Ram is, with the help of Mark and the policeman, shoving the terrorists into his own van. They got some government guy there yelling at him that you can't do this, Ram. And Ram's like, these are international terrorists, so they're under Israeli jurisdiction, so I can. And they go in, and Ram gets in the van, he's like, Shalom Aleichem. And they just start driving off. And then he's like, goes to Mark and like, excellent work, Mark. Mark grabs him and he's like, you asshole, you planned all of this, didn't you? You wanted to get these guys, so you used this Haver Knesset that you knew no one liked and no one would miss too much. And then you hired me, an American, so then, everything could be tied up neatly and no one would suspect. And he's like, no, Mark, of course not. Here, let me tell you, to show you my trust, let me tell you what I have planned for these terrorists. And Mark jumps out of the van. He said, look, I don't care. I am going home. And that's it. I hope at least this time Mark got paid for his job. Okay, then we are another day, another time. The terrorists are in some kind of dark room. You got Ram, 2 other agents. And he's like, don't worry, gentlemen, not much longer now. I know your legs are probably numb because they obviously didn't give him any medical treatment. But this will be over soon. And would you like us to, you'll be dead and we'll cremate you and then we'll spread you over the nearest dump. And I guess the leader of the terrorists says, we will go to Allah and, we'll be martyrs and all that. Oh, and before that, Ram thinks, I hope telling Mark wasn't a mistake. I hope his sense of his morals won't kick in and he'll try to do something. And you see Mark like saying in the dark, I won't allow this. This can't happen. And then they hear some growling, and Ram tells them, oh, you're so holy, your holy mission, like killing women and children, like you did in a supermarket in Israel last year. My family was there. So Mark was right. This was a revenge plan to get these guys that killed Ram's family. Yes, so yes, Mark had a good reason to be angry at him for using him like that, and obviously not fucking telling him. But yes, this and then there's like three like big dogs or four. No, there's four dogs, and he's like, based on their religion, the dogs are unclean. Will your Allah still accept you after this? And the terrorist starts sweating, but it's like, yes, of course. And then the dogs are released on them, and you can imagine what happens. It's not shown. Then we go on to Mark continues to say, first I'll shoot the projectionist, then I'll burn the film. He's in a movie theater. He's watching Rocky movie, and he's like, this is criminal. First, he doesn't get any shards from the explosions, and then he has like the 300 bullets in this gun of his. And then suddenly a voice next to him says, how are you doing, Mark? And he's like, oh, just had my ribs taped from, everything that happened. So I need to take it easy. And she says, oh, I got just the thing for you, Mark. You're under arrest. And on his other side, her partner is sitting eating popcorn. Sorry. And that is it. That's how the third issue of Mark Hazzard ends. Okay, so first cover. Excuse me. So this one doesn't have a scene to it. We just got Mark looking angry and smoking. Oh, actually, as they rode in the parade, I think someone that was with Mark there said to him, or maybe it was the Haver Knesset, like, you shouldn't smoke too much, Mark. It's dangerous. And he's like, life is he starts to say life is dangerous, and then you notice the thing. So yeah, that was but yeah, we just got him smoking. But no smoke. Maybe he just lit that one. But yeah, he looks very menacing here, very cool. I wish there was more of a scene, but and that's a nice cover. Bit too much Pizzy yellow in the box here though. Like the logo, fine, it's some fire, but Okay, so this is the detectives. This is the detective lady. This is our partner. You see Mark's there. All right, assembling a gun. Let's see, what was her name? I wish I remembered her name. Never mind. I don't remember her name. Yeah, so there you see he's like telling the account of things and telling her, oh yeah, Sloppy Java should have killed the third guy too. Burnett. There we go. Name's sorry, she's a lieutenant. Lieutenant Burnett. My bad. So yeah, there we go. As always, the art is very good. The colors. There we go. Yeah, that's her partner. That's a lieutenant. Okay. Now for story. Well, apparently I forgot that I don't have the whole series. It's got like 12 issues. So after I read the ones that I have, I'm gonna have to get the rest of them. It's a longer story than I thought. Alright, anyway. So this is an interesting continuation. I wonder if Mark ever had any trouble with the police before. At least in America. Because it seems like, based on the charges, he's not gonna have a great time. And he seems concerned. But considering this continues, the series continues, I doubt he will actually be sent to jail. Something's probably gonna happen. They'll get him out of it. But I do wonder where the series is gonna go, because as you can see, Mark's life's not going too great. First, he's trying, just to go to his kid's game, and someone tried to kill him. So yeah, things are not too great. But still, Mike's an interesting guy. I wonder what he's gonna do. Like I said, he's 42, so what does he imagine to do with the rest of his life, really? Hmm. It's a question. But I don't know if I said it before, but he's kind of like the Punisher a bit, but of course not exactly the same. And well, he just kills because it's his job, not like the Punisher who does it after what happened to his family. That would be a question if someone, that killed Mark's family, would he have done the same, or would he just gotten revenge on the ones who killed his family, and that's it? Actually surprised no one has attempted that yet. Just kidnap his son at the very least and threaten him. I thought maybe that's why Mark stays away like that in a way, protecting them. If people think he doesn't give a shit about his son and ex-wife, maybe they'll leave him alone. But yeah, in this one, things are not going Mark's way too much. Now it's left to see what happens in issue 4. Will he be arrested? Again, he's not gonna go to jail probably, but how will the series continue is the question. Will he, get more jobs and fuck them up? Will he finally find a direction? What will he continue to do? Who knows? Will he get back with his ex-wife? That's another question. Although, probably doubtful, since she's already remarried. But alright, folks, that is it. This was issue 3 of Mark Hazzard Merc. Let me know what you thought about it, if you read any Mark Hazzard. And that is it. Remember, collect what you're passionate about and share it on YouTube. Bye!